Mel Kiper recently released his latest big board for the 2026 NFL Draft, and I wanted to go through it and give you my 5 top draft targets for the 2026 draft class. My name is Trizzy Trace. Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. Let's get you caught up on everything you need to know. First things first, where do the Saints currently select their players? Right now, they are slotted at number 3 overall. This is going into week 14. Obviously, things can still change, but you do right now hold the 3rd overall selection. You could still move up depending on how the final stretch of games go in terms of remaining matchups. You got to travel to Tampa Bay. That one's going to be tough. You already beat Carolina once. Who says we can't do it again? The Jets and the Titans, both of these are key matchups in the Tank Bowls for who will have the number 1, 2, 3, 4 overall pick. Those are really, really impactful. And as we know, the New York Giants lost to the New Orleans Saints, giving them their first win of the season. So no matter what, the Giants will probably be ahead of the Saints in the draft. Now, the final games in this stretch are absolutely crucial. It is paramount for the New Orleans Saints to lose those games if they want to have the highest draft pick possible. However, I believe that the Saints are operating under the mentality that they are not trying to lose games. They are not trying to tank. They are just bad enough to lose games despite trying to win. And I can tell you right now, for the first time since 2006, the Saints will likely have a prime draft pick to be able to add a blue chip player on either offense or on defense. The last time the Saints selected 2, 3, 4 high, it was when they took Reggie Bush, and we all know the impact that he had for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm here to tell you right now, I think that in this draft class, 20 years later, the Saints could take another prime player and a blue chip player that could have a long-term impact for the black and gold. In terms of draft needs, you got a laundry list of them. But I would say right now, quarterback is not a need. Tyler Shough is playing good enough for me to believe the Saints do not need to use one of their top picks, especially the number 3 overall selection, on a quarterback. But in terms of needs, I think receiver, D-line, running back, secondary or interior offensive line, tight end, I mean, everything, linebackers. You could literally use a little bit of everything for the New Orleans Saints. So what's the biggest need? Playmakers. It is plain and simple. Playmakers, playmakers, playmakers. You need dudes, you need dogs, you need guys who are going to show up on game day, put up good production, and continue to help this team get back to the top. So Mel Kiper's big board, it had a lot of players on there. A bunch of quarterbacks were listed pretty high. I don't want the Saints to take a quarterback, so we're going to start this list at number 3 overall. Jeremiyah Love, the running back, out of Notre Dame. Let me tell you about this player. He is extremely, extremely talented, and he's somebody who I think could make an immediate impact and quite frankly could add a ton of juice to this offense and be a huge crutch for Tyler Shough. We all know that Kellen Moore's best offense that he won a Super Bowl with was when the ground game was humming with Saquon Barkley. Not saying he's Saquon 2.0, but I am saying that he's a high-level player that can make a massive, massive impact and help open up this offense in New Orleans. Now, here's what Mel Kiper had to say on this player. Jeremiyah Love reminds me a lot of Reggie Bush, which is actually pretty funny considering that's the player we took 20 years ago with the number 2 overall selection. But here we are at number 3. Maybe it's going to be Jeremiyah Love. I don't know if I would take him that early, but this is what he had to say. The 20-year-old has vision and burst between the tackles and to the outside, and he can break tackles with ease. 55 forced missed tackles this season. He's been really, really impactful for the Fighting Irish. Once he gets into space, he can take it to the house with his breakaway speed too, but Love isn't only an outstanding runner, he's also a high-impact pass catcher. An NFL team will be able to flank him out wide and create a whole another dimension on the offense. Look, I think Jeremiyah Love would be an excellent addition to the Saints. 27 catches, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, averages 10.4 yards per catch. He averages almost 7 yards per carry, 6.9 to be exact. Nice. That's actually back-to-back years. He had 6.9 yards per carry. Double nice. When it comes to Jeremiyah Love, would I take him number 3 overall? Probably not, but I would love to trade back, get some extra compensation, and grab this player a few picks behind the third. Like, what if you get to 8, 9, 10. I think that makes it a much more justifiable selection. And on top of that, you get to add more draft capital to the future and to this draft class for 2026. The New Orleans Saints have a long list of needs, and they need high-end players everywhere. So I think that trading back and taking Jeremiyah Love in round 1 would be an awesome move to make for New Orleans. Another great move, Arvell Reese, the number 4 player on Kiper's big board. If you're staying put at number 3 overall, when I say sprinting, I mean elbows to ears, Usain Bolt, Rashid Shaheed type sprint up to the podium with the draft card that says Arvell Reese, linebacker, Ohio State, number 3 overall, the New Orleans Saints. I mean, this is a player who does everything. What do you want him to do? Drop back in coverage, stop the run, rush the passer. He does it all. He is literally a jack of all trades. And if you are a team like the New Orleans Saints who just need playmakers, go get the best playmaker in college football, at least in my personal opinion. Mel Kiper had some very glowing remarks to say for him as well. This is a complete football player. Reese jumps off the Ohio State tape playing the game like a veteran. I see natural instincts at the linebacker position that allow him to make plays most guys just can't make. And he has the burst to get home when turned loose as a pass rusher. Reese has been a big riser in this class. What did I say earlier? We need dogs. We need dudes. We need playmakers. Arvell Reese is all of those things. If you want somebody that will make a day one impact and that could be a forever blue chip player that you could have for a long, long time, Arvell Reese is that guy. And I'm not going to say he's Micah Parsons, but I am saying if you bring him in, you better not do what the Cowboys did with Micah Parsons and let him run away in a few years. You got to find a way to get Arvell Reese in the black and gold. I'm here to tell you right now, if that's the selection, number 3 overall, thrilled with that pick. Now, guys, if you want to get some jerseys for the holiday season right around the corner, we'll be here before you know it. Go to chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. Going to get back to the Mel Kiper big board in just 1 second. But if you want a throwback, you want a gold, you want a home and away, a color rush, men, women, children sizes, name a player, we got them. Click the link right here, chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. It's in the comments, it's in the description, or you can just search chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. It'll take you right to our collection. All on sale, limited time. Highly encourage you to go take advantage of the sale now before you miss out on it and you have to pay full price for these jerseys for the holiday season. Load up, get yourself one, get one of your homies one, get a loved one a jersey, and use the link to support the show. Now, number 5 on Mel Kiper's big board here, Jordyn Tyson, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. Boy, oh boy, would I love to see Jordyn Tyson in the black and gold. And I think with the New Orleans Saints, they are in a position right now that they could explore this number 3 overall. Or maybe you trade back a couple of picks and you still take him. And if he's not there, then you go Caleb Downs or Arvell Reese or insert other player. Maybe another guy we're talking about in a minute. But Jordyn Tyson is, in my opinion, the best receiver in college football right now. I think he's somebody who can be complementary to Chris Olave. I think he's somebody who could fit well in Kellen Moore's offense. And I also believe that he could be a really nice crutch for Tyler Shough to have a high-end weapon and somebody who could be an alpha and take over a game at any point in time. Jordyn Tyson is that guy. Here's what Kiper had to say. The Colorado transfer has teamed up with quarterback Sam Levitt to light up defenses for 2 seasons now. Tyson's superpower is being open even when it looks like he's completely blanketed. It makes him essentially uncoverable in the red zone. And where do the Saints struggle the most? The red zone. They are historically bad inside the 20, making this a really, really fine player to add. He wins on 50-50 balls and outmuscles defensive backs. Jordyn Tyson recently returned from a hamstring injury, which kept him out for 3 games. And the fact that he's put up the production that he has with 3 games missing is super, super impressive. And in my personal opinion, when it comes to the wide receiver position as a whole, I think it needs to be a priority this offseason. You cannot leave the NFL draft with at least 1 wide receiver. You did not make it a priority this past year. And I questioned it. I thought it was a bad idea. You did get some nice players that are turning into really key pieces to this roster, but wide receiver, it has to be prioritized. There's no way around it. Using a draft pick in the top 50 on a wide receiver would be a smart move. Not doing that would be organizational malpractice, and if you do take a Jordyn Tyson or a guy we're about to talk about, that's a good pick. That will sell jerseys. That will put butts in seats. That will put points on the scoreboard. That will move the ball downfield. And more importantly, it will help you succeed in the red zone. Another guy that can help you succeed in the red zone. And anywhere on the field for that matter. Big body wide receiver out of Ohio State. We've had some success with those guys before. What about Carnell Tate? Let's keep the wide receiver pipeline at Ohio State to New Orleans very, very strong. I wouldn't hate this idea. He is number 6 on Kiper's big board. If you could change that at the top of the screen too, Lopez. Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State, 6'3", 195 pounds. This dude is a freak of nature. A freak of nature, I tell you. 44 catches, 793 yards, 8 touchdowns. This guy is somebody that can immediately add juice to this offense. Just like we talked about Jordyn Tyson being a lethal weapon in the red zone, I think Carnell Tate could be a lethal weapon anywhere on the roster, anywhere on the offense, anywhere on the field. He can help you keep drives alive. He can operate over the middle. He can be somebody that can provide more juice alongside Devon Vele and Chris Olave and Jalen Polk and Mason Tipton and Bub Means. I think that this is a player that could really, really be beneficial to the Saints offense. And hell, we've had some good experiences drafting Ohio State wide receivers. Why not dip back into the well? Mel Kiper has some nice things to say about Carnell Tate. He's putting up some serious numbers and showing why he is a top number for this class. Carnell Tate has produced big plays on a regular basis, averaging 18.2 yards per catch this season. Inject it into my offense like I'm a junkie. He is a precise route runner, has great hands, and displays outstanding body control. And he'll also happily block for ball carriers, which NFL coaches love to see. Tate has a lower body injury and has missed some time, but I'm not going to go ahead and focus on that. I'm going to focus on the player that Carnell Tate is. Somebody who's a willing blocker, somebody who dominates in the receiving game, somebody who averages 18-plus yards per catch, somebody who is a serious playmaker and can be a massive, massive contributor. If you trade back, Carnell Tate is a player that has me foaming at the mouth thinking about what he can do for this offense. So pick a wide receiver. Jordyn Tyson, assuming you probably take him at 3 or 4, or Carnell Tate maybe a little bit later in the first round. Which receiver would you rather have? Tyson, Tate, type JT for Jordyn Tyson, type CT for Carnell Tate. Now let's get to the last player on this list. Number 12 on Mel Kiper's big board. We're just going to skip all the way down there because a lot of players I don't think the Saints should prioritize in the round one. Some offensive tackles, more quarterbacks, some other receivers. I want to just kind of focus on another player that I think would be an excellent addition, whether it's 3rd overall, whether you're trading back. Caleb Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about adding defensive playmakers. This is one of those through and through. Mel Kiper has called him an extension of the defensive coordinator. He can command and control a defense. He has the high football IQ. He has the playmaking ability. He comes from a football family, a pipeline of talent. His brother, wide receiver Josh Downs. He's the son of former running back Gary Downs. That is a football family through and through. He has it in his blood. It's in his DNA, and he's somebody that I think if you're talking about the Saints defense, that is an excellent weapon for Brandon Staley. Now let's talk about what Mel Kiper said. His football knowledge shows in his play. It's obvious when you watch him in the Ohio State defense. But what really impressed me is how well he picked up Nick Saban's system as a 2023 freshman at Alabama before transferring. He diagnoses quickly thanks to those excellent pre-snap instincts, and that allows him to play faster than his straight line speed might suggest. Plus, Downs is solid in coverage and a very reliable open field tackler. The Saints need to get better at tackling. They need to get better defending the pass. They need to get better against the run. And when it comes to what should the New Orleans Saints do in the NFL Draft round 1, as it stands, 3rd overall selection, I'm trading back. I'm trading back, and I'm not even thinking about it. Stack picks this year. Stack picks next year. Get as much in you as you can. If there's a team that's willing enough to go and get their guy at the quarterback specifically, teams will pay premium prices for premium real estate or premium draft picks or premium players. Make them pay. Do not get fleeced. Get extra compensation this year. Get extra compensation next year. This is not a 1 or 2 year rebuild. This is a 3-year rebuild, in my opinion. You're in year 1. Offseason number 2 could be really, really helpful. And then after offseason number 3, I think this team is headed to the moon. But if you take one of the 5 players we talked about today, Jeremiyah Love, Arvell Reese, Jordyn Tyson, Carnell Tate, or Caleb Downs, I think one of those players could help you fast track this rebuild. So who are your top 5 draft targets for the New Orleans Saints? I gave you my 5. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. Share your thoughts and sound off. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. Thank you so much for tuning into this video from Saints Now by Chat Sports. Loco Lopez has been crushing it throughout the week and the football season. It's almost done, but hey, we're not going anywhere. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.